Welcome back to the POAS Desk. In the last episode, we covered what court license entities are. In this episode, we cover something closely related, the role of translators in POA work, and why translation in legal contexts is more than just converting words from one language to another. We touched on this in episode 13, when we covered bilingual drafting. In this episode, we go deeper on the translator specifically, who they are, what their authority is, and why their role is central to whether a POA actually works. In the UAE, legal translators are a regulated profession. Translators who handle official documents must be licensed by the Ministry of Justice. Their license authorizes them to translate specific languages for use in official UAE contexts. Their seal and signature on a translated document carry legal weight. They are formally attesting that the translation is accurate. This is different from general translation. A general translator can translate any text from one language to another. A licensed legal translator translates documents that will be submitted to UAE authorities with their seals certifying the accuracy. The Ministry of Justice maintains a register of these translators, and only documents bearing their certified translations are accepted as legal source documents in many contexts. Why this matters for POAs. A POA in the UAE must be in Arabic. The Arabic version is the binding legal text. So the translation from English to Arabic is not a convenience. It is the production of the actual legal document. A poor translation produces a poor legal document. A precise translation produces a precise legal document. Legal translation requires more than language fluency. It requires understanding of legal concepts in both source and target languages. A power that exists in one legal system may not have a direct equivalent of the other. The translator has to choose terminology that conveys the legal effect intended, not just the literal meaning. Specific examples of the difficulty. The English term to grant power can be translated to Arabic in several ways, each with slightly different legal connotations. The translator must choose the term that matches the specific authority being granted. The English distinction between shall and may, between a mandatory and a permissive provision, is sometimes blurred in casual translation. In legal documents, this distinction matters. A POA that says the attorney may sign gives discretion. A POA that says the attorney shall sign creates an obligation. The Arabic translation must preserve this distinction. The English structure of compound powers to sign, execute, and deliver has Arabic equivalents, but they are not always direct. The translator must structure the Arabic in a way that captures the same scope without redundancy or ambiguity. The English use of legal Latin, French, or other borrowed terms, phrases like in propria persona or ex officio, needs to be translated to Arabic legal terminology, which has its own conventions and is not always a direct translation of the borrowed phrase. Beyond accuracy, there are formatting and procedural requirements. The translator's seal must appear on the Arabic version. The seal includes the translator's name, license number, and contact details. Without the seal, the document is not a properly translated legal text. The translator's signature must accompany the seal. Both are required. The translation must be physically attached to the source document, with cross-references confirming that the translation is of the specific source. Loose or unbound translations may not be accepted. The translator may also be required to attend the notarization in some specific cases to confirm the translation in person. This is uncommon for standard POAs, but does occur for certain document types. A common mistake we see. Principals try to save money by getting a non-licensed translation done by a friend, a cheap service, or an online tool. The Arabic version is then technically present but not legally certified. The receiving authority rejects the document because the translation does not bear a licensed translator's seal. The principal pays for retranslation by a licensed translator and renotarization. Another mistake. Principals use a licensed translator who is licensed for a different language pair than what is needed. A translator license for English Arabic is not the same as one license for French Arabic. If the source document is in French and English Arabic, translator cannot certify the translations of Arabic of French Arabic. Translator is needed. A third mistake. Principals do not verify that the translator they are using is currently licensed. Translator licenses can lapse. A translation by an expired license holder is not valid. We verify the translator's current license before using their services. At POAS, we use Ministry of Justice licensed translators with current licenses for English Arabic. For other source languages, we coordinate with appropriately licensed translators based on the principal's home country. The translation work is included in the fixed fee, and we verify the translation against the source language. Before notarization, the translator's role is sometimes invisible to the principal. They never meet the translator, they just receive the bilingual document. But the quality of the work behind that bilingual presentation is one of the central factors determining whether the POA will work or be rejected. In episode 28, we cover the apostille and consular attestation routes when remote notarization is not available and the principal must use one of the older paths. I'm Patrick. Thanks for joining me at the POAS Desk.